I am always asked by people, how in the world did you get to Pro 6 in 3 months? And I laugh and I smile and I say, well, goodness, I don't really know, but I can tell you that my why is very strong. I'm very passionate about this product, about all of the products, and that is what drives me. Several months ago, our daughter was diagnosed with a very rare gene mutation, and we were just looking for answers. She, is on the spectrum. She has attention issues, focus, sleep, you name it. She has special needs, and so we were just looking for answers. And someone reached out to us and shared this with us, and it has changed our lives for the better. We have made a complete 180. The results are unbelievable. And so my passion is so strong. And I tell my distributors and those that are on our team, I think once you find your why, when you find your passion, whether it is your family or the products or the science or whatever it may be, that is what drives your business. And that's truly how I have grown my business. My why is so strong and the passion is there. I ran across this quote this week, and it's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, and I felt like it just summed up our team. It said exactly what drives our team, our leadership. Nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. And we're truly building relationships. We are caring about people. We're reaching out to people that we care about, people that we love, people that we want to feel better. And that's exactly what we're doing. You're going to hear me say that over and over again in my
Hey, Laura.
Yes.
Laura, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
Okay.
FYI, we can't see your screen.
You can't?
We can't see it. Okay.
So
I don't know if you want to go back out, then maybe come back in. I just want to give you a heads up. Okay.
Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah. Yes, we can now.
Yay.
There you go.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Can you still see it? Okay.
Yeah. Yes, I was on mute.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So, this is how I started. I'll go back and share with you, but the passion, the products, the science, and then of course the quote, nobody cares how much you know until you know how much they care. And this is so important because it's truly the overlying message that our team, our leaders have shared with me, and then what we have shared with our team. And so I always tell my distributors and our team that every single person that you meet, whether it's on social media or in public, is a potential customer and a potential distributor. And I have been so blessed to grow this business on social media. And I know Dr. Glasser is going to share some more information with you guys about social media, but I have strictly grown this business on Facebook, not so much Instagram yet, but mostly Facebook. And I start with a post, and I always tell people that your post should be personal. People are your friends on Facebook because they want to know about you, what you're doing in your life. They don't want to read ads. People are always trying to sell you things, just like Gabe said earlier. And if you make your post personal, and if you are sharing what you're passionate about, then people are always wanting to know more about what you are doing, and they're interested. And so the first step that we follow, and I duplicated this from the leaders that have led me, is that you post to pique interest. Once someone is interested, we add them to a Facebook group that is run by a group of physicians that has tons of testimonies and research and great information. And we add them to this wonderful group, and then we tag them in something that relates to them. And that is exactly where we go back to the building the relationship part. if you are building a relationship with this potential customer, then you know what their needs are. You know how they're feeling. You know if perhaps they're having health issues or someone close to them is. Maybe they have a family history of something. Maybe they're just interested in the science behind this. Maybe they're an athlete. Whatever it is that they have, if you've built a relationship with them, you know what their needs are. And so we tag them in a couple of posts that relate to them, something that is going to hit home with that person. And we simply send them our link. We send them a quick link back and say, here's how you purchase. If you'd like to shop around, here's my link. And that is it. You have planted your seed. You've posted, you've added, you've tagged, and you've messaged them. And the last step, the follow-up, is truly where I feel like is the most important piece of this puzzle. And follow-up has many levels to it. Follow-up is, I feel like, what has grown my business so has set me apart from others, is that I do follow up with people that have ordered and people that have not ordered yet. So if someone planted that seed, I reach back out to them and ask them if they have any questions. People are so busy today that they get distracted and they either don't have time to read about it or they forget. And so that piece just reminds people, oh yeah, I am interested in that. I'm going to do that tonight. Or people do have questions and they just forget to ask you. They're too busy. And so I ask them, how do you like what you're learning? After they order, our company sends us a great email. You've got a new customer, and we love getting those emails that we have someone new that has signed up. I always immediately message that person and let them know, hey, I just got your order. I am so excited that you're about to start. Will you please let me know as soon as your products arrive in the mail? And this just lets me know when they're going to start. And so if someone starts on a Tuesday, I will set a reminder on my calendar on my phone, and I will reach back out to them usually 5 or 6 days later and just ask, how are you feeling? I don't usually come right out the gate and tell people they might have detox symptoms, because typically most people don't. But by checking back up on them, by following up with them, building that relationship, letting them know that I care about them, I'm able to make sure that if they are experiencing, mild headaches or bloating, that's a good sign that their body is healing from the inside out. And then I walk them through, steps to take. Make sure they're drinking plenty of water. Make sure they're taking their NRF2 with good fat. And so I kind of guide them. I hold their hand. I make sure that they are feeling better if they didn't feel good. If they have major concerns, I will put them in touch with a physician that's on our team. Again, building that relationship, letting them know that I care about them and their health. The last follow-up, and it's not the last, obviously, but it is a good follow-up to know. People after a couple of weeks or months will often start to see a difference in their health. And so I reach back out to them. Hey, how are you feeling? Do you have any, has anybody else noticed your energy level? Or, have your friends mentioned that you have less anxiety, or, whatever it may be? I just reach back out to them, and I just put a little bug in their ear, hey, if you're telling other people, or if other people are noticing that you're feeling really well, you might want to think about becoming a distributor. And so I just plant that seed again. And sometimes people reach out to me, hey, I've got 5 people that want to sign up. What do I do to become a distributor? And so I feel like so many of my distributors were first customers. They are people that saw, they felt it, they see it, they understand the science, and are so excited to share with other people. And so now what? You've got these people that are interested in becoming distributors, and what do you do? How do you get them on your team? I am a big person to just be honest. I am not a salesperson. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and I just listen. I listen to where they are in their lives. I try to meet them there. I listen and I say, tell me what you want to get out of this business. What would you feel comfortable investing into the company? And so we go through, the 3 packs. Our company has 3 wonderful options to come with our silver pack, our gold pack, and our platinum pack. All 3 of these are amazing, and each pack holds, wonderful opportunities for a business. It has great products. You can earn, tickets to events. All kinds of things are possible. It gives you free samples to give out to other people. You have an opportunity to try products that you may not be trying yet, the skincare or the Axio. And so I always tell people, let's go through these 3 options. What do you feel comfortable with? And sometimes people don't feel comfortable with either pack. And so I'll tell them, it's okay. You can get started with a simple $50 starter kit. That's fine. And if that's where you feel comfortable, we can start there. You have 60 days to upgrade. And I let them know that it's okay to just come in with $50. And typically what happens is, once people hit the ground running, they see that, oh my goodness, I'm signing people up left and right. I need more products. I need the products at my house because people are running out. They're wanting to start today. People want samples. And so we then explore the options of upgrading. Upgrading is a wonderful tool that we have used on our team to help people to rank advance. At the end of the month or towards the end of the month, we'll sit down and look at the numbers, and I'll call them. Sometimes it's kind of overwhelming at the beginning. You can't really, figure out what all's going on with what it means to rank events. And so I try to train everyone right out the gate on how to look at their, graphic tree, to look at their numbers and see if that is something they're interested in, if that's something they can do. And upgrading is a wonderful option that our company gives us, that once you sign up, you don't have to just start with that kit, and you'll always have that starter kit. A lot of people start with the silver because it gives them that 200 in personal volume right out the door. So they're able to earn that Smart Start bonus with their first preferred customer. And so once people start with a silver pack, they still have the option of upgrading to a platinum later that month or later, even the next month, if it's going to help them to rank advance. And so my last tip is to just lead by example. Always, people are watching you no matter what you're doing, whether it's on social media or out in public. And so I tell my distributors, always lead by example. Try to stay positive. Always, people are watching what you're doing. And so if you're sharing and people are listening, whether they're commenting or liking your post or not, people are always watching us. And we're in such a great position to be amazing leaders. And we've been led by great ones. And so, Gabe, thank you so much for letting me come on today. It's been a wonderful experience.
You're awesome. I mean, I've taken down a bunch of notes. So thank you so much for sharing with everyone what you and your team are doing. I'm not sure if you have an answer to this question, but I'm going to go ahead and kind of put you on the spot because I'm sure everyone is thinking the same thing that I am. Do you have any idea what your percentage of upgrades are, let's say in 30 to 60 days, of how many people actually do upgrade?
I don't have a percentage, but I will tell you that in 1 month we had 11 platinum upgrades.
I mean, enough said. That is a major success rate right there. Who cares what the percentage is, right? So folks, always be thinking about that. I love her approach. She comes in where they come in where they fit in. And there's no stress, there's no pressure. And I love what she says. Fortune is in the follow-up. She does an outstanding job following up with everybody. And that's this business. So Laura, again, thank you so much for spending some time with us today. I know you're busy. I know what you have going on this morning with your 2 beautiful daughters. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Gabe. Y'all have a good Saturday.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, folks. Our next speaker, and I know we're running late, but it's my fault. Jill and I didn't start until probably 15 minutes late. So for the next speakers, don't worry. I want you share your full presentation with everyone. Our next presenter, I'm really excited to be able to introduce her. She's our newest Elite Pro 7. She's been a plastic surgeon for 18 years, and she actually dabbled in this business for the first 2 to 3 years, then started to understand the enormity of what the possibilities were. And she was literally able to walk away from medicine in 5 years with this company. So everyone, please welcome new Elite Pro 7, Dr. Rebecca Glasser. Dr. Glasser, how are you?
I'm good. Can you see me okay here?
Picture perfect. Picture perfect. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. And folks, she is going to be sharing with all of you what she has done specifically from April to today. I was fortunate enough to be in Grand Junction a few weeks ago, pushing and helping her team get to that elite rank. And we started looking at numbers, and what she shared with me, I says, oh my goodness, you've got to share this with everyone. And we actually started looking at her business, and when she implemented social media into her business model, that's what took her to elite. And that's what she's going to be talking about today. All yours, Dr. Glasser.
All right, everybody. So I should take over the screen, and Gabe, I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen right from the get-go so that everyone can see my screen. I'm not seeing it, Gabe. Are you? Let's see.
Yes. Yeah, we can. I mean, I can see it, but there's nothing on it. There you go.
All right. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is, and hopefully no one will be messaging me while I'm on these screens because those will pop up. But the first thing I'm going to talk about is social media and creating your brand. And this is my Facebook page, and you guys can see there's my professional picture that's there in the circle. And then my background picture is a picture of Telluride, one of my favorite places to go. And I'm building my brand. And you can see, you know, when you're looking at my screen here and you're looking at my introduction, you can see I have a lot of information on here on plastic surgery. You can see I live in Grand Junction. I'm from Chapel Hill. I have a business page here. You can see pictures of my family and whatnot. But what you don't see is you don't see Protandim or LifeVantage or any of those other things where people think I'm a plastic surgeon. They're going to learn more about my other information. And then you can see too, I'm always trying to think of posts that I can do in order to create curiosity, in order to people to comment or like. And we were up on the Mesa recently, and we were looking at all the leaves changing. And you can see I did this post where I said, reaching, reaching, reaching to make it to the top. Then the sun will shine upon you and bring out your true beauty. Hope the sun shines on you today. And again, you know, I'm going to get likes, I'm going to get comments. People even tell me, Rebecca, I just follow you for your pictures. And that's great. But, you know, at the same time, I'm also going to put posts on here where, you know, here's one of them where I'm talking about aspen trees and how that I finally reached this elite status in my company. Again, I'm not talking about LifeVantage. I'm not talking about Protandim, but I can tell you that my, you know, 2,000 friends are looking at this and going, what is she doing? Okay. So then every now and then I put in a post that might create a little bit more curiosity, that people are like, what are you doing? And here's one of them where I'm showing a picture of the pharmaceutical industry. And again, I'm trying to create curiosity. And I got a number of comments on this post. I'm trying to, again, get people to ask me more. So as Gabe talked about, now I learned a lot from Dr. Shawn McKee, and I'm forever thankful to her for getting me really started on social media, because I was closed-minded at the time and I really didn't want to get into all of that, but luckily I did. and I created a page on social media that's my personal page for my team. And you know what I'll tell you guys is you're going to have to create your own team pages. Okay, this is mine, and what I have at the very beginning of this page is I have my announcements, and I use the short LifeVantage ABC Primetime Report and the Vitality Stack. That's the one I like. Donna talked also about the new video that was done. Now you guys are sending me friend requests like crazy. So here's the deal, okay? You only get a certain number of friends. Who do you want to friend? Well, you don't want to friend everyone in LifeVantage. You want to friend other people. So I am honored that you guys all want to friend me right now because I'm speaking, but remember, you've got to friend other people. I have a closed number of friends, so that's where I'm going with this. Now, how do we use the Biohacking to Better Health page? Well, Laura spoke about this some, and what's so important in this is I love this avenue. So one of the first things that I do with getting started is I use our training page, and you can see that this training page is available to all of you guys, and it's Connect and Impact Today. This is Gabe and Jill's training page. But I also have my own training page for my personal team. Again, it's a secret page. I only do it for my team. And some of the first things that I do is I try and get people started. So in the old days, what I did was our old methodology, which was, okay, let's have a meeting right away. Let's write down your 20 first names as your database. Let's get to a meeting. But what we do now is a little bit different now. We go to my page, my biohacking page. And again, this is just for my downline. You guys are going to have to create your own team. But what I tell people is, okay, what I first want you to do is I want you to write down 20 names. And I want you to think of those people, and then next to each one of their names, I want you to think of, why did you think of them? What's going on with them? Do they have a child who has special needs? Do they have arthritis? Are they complaining about they're a full-time mom and they don't have enough energy, they don't get enough sleep? I want you to think of exactly why you thought of that person. And then in the old days, I used to walk them through the whole back office and virtual office and go through the whole starting page and all of that. And it would take hours of training. And I don't do that anymore. What I do is I say, I want you to write down your database and we're going to meet for coffee. And I sit next to them and I say, okay, we're going to text each of these people who are on your list. And so, for example, I might think of Paula and I might go, send her a text and I go, Paula, I've been thinking about you and your arthritis. I think I found something that might help you. Would it be okay if I add you to an educational page that's run by doctors so you can look and learn more about it on your own? Well, that's a whole new approach, right? You're not trying to get people out for the evening to come to a meeting. You're not having them leave their own house. They're doing it from their home. They're doing it on their phone. So then I would go on our personal page and I might type in, for example, arthritis, okay? And then every post that is on arthritis is going to come up. And I have wonderful people on my team who are adding their personal stories. And here's Annalie, and she does this beautiful post of her before and after x-rays and her personal story of how it did this. Now you can see, I always put on there, we cannot make any claims that we cure, treat, or mitigate disease, okay? But again, you can look up something else. Let's say they had a problem with their gut. We could look up gut health. And, you know, here's a great article that is out of Yahoo, which talks about the link between gut health and autoimmune disease. So, you know, as Gabe told you, I started this Facebook training or Facebook page back in April. And, you know, here we are in October, and I went from having, 0 participants on my page to we're just about at 2,000 at this point. So every month I have people going on this page because this is an easy, duplicatable system. You're allowing them to do their own research, to do their own education. And they may have started off being interested in gut or energy or something else, but they may see something else on that page which strikes their interest. So for example, here's a great article. Well, here's on gut health and weight loss. So maybe they were interested in weight loss and they realized, oh my gosh, I need a good probiotic in order to help with my weight loss. All right. And so again, I think I'm duplicating what Laura was saying in that we do this add tag message. So the first part of it is once they've given their okay, and you always want to ask permission. You never want to add people to a group that they haven't approved. That's being salesy, that's being pushy. Once they have given their approval, then, people go to the site and they go under add member and they add that member in. Now, once those people are added into the group, then what I usually do is I go to the very beginning of my page where there's my announcement and I add them under the comment section and I just say, Paula, welcome to the biohacking page. This is a great video to start with. You can also use the toolbar in order to find other topics of interest, happy learning or whatever you want to say on there. So add tag message. So you're going to tag them in a few posts. Then you're going to message them. It's just like Laura was saying, you have to do the follow-up. I've had people who've added 60 people to the page and they don't even remember who they've added because it's just so many folks. You have to have a system. You have to have follow-up. I still do use an old-fashioned notebook to write down those names. I write down when I tag them. I might, if I don't hear from them, I might tag them in something else a week later or a month later. I always do my follow-up. And then I think as Laura said, it's so important. Once they're on the product, you want to follow up with them again. Please let me know how you're doing. How are you feeling? Are you having any symptoms? Answer their questions. And what I find, again, is what's so beautiful about social media is you may have people on this page who are on there for 2 or 3 months, and it's totally crickets. You haven't heard a thing from them. You've followed up with them. You've messaged them. Hey, were you able to open up the link? What else did you find on this page? Did you have any questions? Crickets. And then all of a sudden they see a post that resonates with them. They're all of a sudden ready. They're all of a sudden open, and then they get on board. Again, as Laura was saying, a number of people, you'll notice they'll start adding people to the page. They're sharing it with their friends. This is, again, a very important time to follow up with them. Hey, I see that you added so-and-so to the biohacking page. Is there any specific health concerns that they have that you wanted them to learn more about? So again, you're following up, and then immediately once they start adding people to the page, you have to bring up the business. I see you're adding people to the page. You're sharing this with others. Have you thought about doing this as a business? Okay. Now, again, this takes group effort. You have to have leaders. You have to place content in here every day. I have 2 scheduled posts that go in every morning at 7 a.m. My team knows that I'm pretty regular about doing these posts. And I can tell as soon as I add these posts on, then they start going and the tagging begins. Now, also in social media, I think that the other important thing is to have your own personal training page. And this is mine. Again, this is for my team only, so please don't ask to join it. It's just for my team. But we have training for Team Biohack. And again, what do I do on this page? Well, number one, I want you guys to think about your JOB. How often do you actually get congratulated or patted on the back or praised for anything that you do at work? Not very often. And so, some of the things that we do on the training page is we congratulate people. For example, on my page, we would have Here's Paula's initial announcement. She created a distributor packet. Here's a booklet of how to. This is a great way to get started. Go ahead and download this, and it has good tips in there. We have, of course, the announcement for the virtual training with Gabe in there. We're constantly giving information on upcoming events. We congratulate people. You know, great job, Linda, on your new PC. You're doing so wonderfully. We always give those pats on the back. And then in addition to that, let's say I have somebody who's interested in getting started. What do I do to get started? Well, what I do is, again, we use Facebook. You know, one of the things that I do is I create Facebook Lives. I try and do them regularly for my team. I'm a brand new distributor. What do I do first? And then I hashtag it getting started. So my new team members are able to get on there and see some of these videos. What if somebody didn't know about personal volume? What does PV mean? How do I get started on that? Here's another place you can go. Now, as you guys are building your own pages, you know, where do you find this information? Well, one of the best places to find it is on YouTube. And so let me just pull up YouTube real quick. There it is. On YouTube, I mean, have you ever just typed in Protandim or Dr. McCord or all of those different things? You know, there's different channels on there. Connect and Make an Impact does a great job on there. Again, you could look up Dr. McCord and survival genes or heart grafts, and all of a sudden you have information on there on how to do this. So this is a great resource. What are your other resources? Well, Gabe and Jill's page, what a great resource. That has all kinds of information on there. Now, the last thing I'm going to cover in getting started is the Ireland trip. And you guys already, your points are available. Take a look at this. But LifeVantage is very smart about their trips. They are rewarding you for specific behaviors. And so I want you to look at this on some of the things that you can do to get points. And you can see, you know, as you rank advanced, you get points. But this is pretty interesting, right? Within 3 months, how many points do you get? Do you see how they triple? So if you go, for example, in 3 months, and we had a bunch of Pro 4s this month, instead of getting 50 points, you all of a sudden get 150 points. And when you hold that rank, they're going to give you points as well. So the company wants you to get started and get started fast. So for all of you guys who are new distributors out there, this is a huge part of it because the company wants you to go fast. And of course, we all want you to go to Ireland. So, okay, with that, Gabe, I am going to turn it back over to you. That was just kind of a little snapshot on social media, but hopefully you guys got some good pearls today. Again, go to YouTube. Look at social media. Oh my gosh, there's so much for you guys to learn on there. If you just type in social media, it'll give you all of these tips. If you haven't watched Rachel Jackson's information on social media, she's a Pro 9. Her whole team got there through social media. Make sure that you take a look at that. Learn how to do this. Listen, this was totally out of my comfort zone. I was not comfortable with social media at all. I made myself do it. I made myself learn it. You guys can do it too. I have full confidence that you can do this for your teams.
I can hear the conversations right now that you and I had about it. How am I going to do this, Gabe? I go, I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I mean, it was amazing on what you've accomplished in those 7 months. I mean, you know, if you look at your revenues now, it's approaching half of what you had. So folks, I tell you what, you know, especially if you're around my age, you know, it's something that you're going to have to do. And you're going to have to do exactly what Dr. Glasser did. You're just going to have to get uncomfortable to get comfortable. And now she is just starting to see, the fruits of her hard labor. It hasn't even hit yet, but it got her to Elite Pro 7. And I made the comment earlier that, we're projected, when I say we're, the network marketing industry is 220 billion, but it's projected to double in the next few years on exactly what Dr. Glasser was just talking to all of us about. That's the reason. So everything is moving faster. You can build your business, so much easier. So I'm going to call it a non-negotiable. Okay. So, and I'm not saying you have to do it 100% of the time. Start out like she did 7 months ago and just started slowly but surely. And she still by no means builds her business 100% on social media. She does the meetings. I mean, she does, she's just added more fuel to her fire. So Dr. Glasser, thank you so much. I think that was one of your best presentations that you've ever done. And I would never would have guessed it would have come on social media.
And if I may, I want to make just one last comment on this. So, I talked about social media primarily, but just remember, I have on my training page, I have our October calendar. We have over 10 meetings this month here in Grand Junction. So don't think that I am 100% social media. I am absolutely not. You start on social media, then you pick up the phone and you call them and you invite them to a meeting, or you invite them to the Monday night webinar, or you invite them to a conversation if they're across the country. So just remember, don't rely 100% on the internet. There is nothing that replaces knee to knee, having a conversation, looking somebody in the face and having that conversation. That's what helps you close. Laura, it's the same thing. They may start everything on social media, but she is personal. She is having a conversation with these people. They know that she cares about them just as we do on our team in Grand Junction. So remember, it's a combination of everything. And if you have people on your team who don't do social media, who aren't on Facebook, they need another way of duplication. Don't make them do something they are completely uncomfortable with. Find what works for them.
Exactly. Thank you so much. Okay, let's move on. Actually, we're on time. I was looking at someone else's time and I thought we were like 25 minutes behind. So I was panicking because I'm such a freak of nature when it comes to being on time. I'm going to make a huge, bold statement. And I'm going to say this, that the next couple that we have as our guest, and I'm calling them a power couple. I don't think there's anybody in this company that's more powerful than they are. They have 25 years of experience. They've done over $200 million, folks, in revenues. I love the fact they've been married for 38 years. They met when they were in junior high school. They're from Long Island, New York. They've become, Jill and I, probably one of our closest friends. They've been involved right at a year. They achieved the Elite Pro 7, excuse me. Yeah, the Elite Pro 7. I want to say 8 because I view them as 8s now. Elite Pro 7 in 7 months, and they're knocking at the door at Pro 8. I want to please welcome, and you can see on the screen, we have April Wagner on, and her husband Bob is going to be with us as well. So April, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And folks, what Bob and April are going to be covering with all of us today, it's the topic of this morning's training is, when you're a brand new distributor, getting started, once you get your LifeVantage ID number, what do you do next? That's what they're going to cover for us. So April, it's all yours.
Thanks so much. Yeah, Bobby and I are super excited about this company. It is just about a year now that we are involved, and things are going really well. But you can't help to always think about when you got started and just what's going on over all the years that we've been involved. Like Gabe said, it'd been over 25 years. Back then it was really to replace Bobby's income. He had lost his traditional business, which happens a lot. I had just had our second child and really wanted to stay home with our kids. So, those were our whys so many years ago, and those whys change over. But unless you're having people duplicate and teaching them how to duplicate, and I think sometimes in the beginning, we're just so excited when we get that person that we haven't even thought about duplicating. So, you know, Bobby and I are going to break up this last half hour. I'm going to talk more about the action steps and quickly where you can get all the information to help build your business. But then he's going to actually take it to the computer, because, you know, sometimes people, you know, like Dr. Glasses said, and her and Laura did an unbelievable job with, you know, social media, because that's Bobby and I. You know, we're of the age where not even a year ago, I'm like, I'm not going on Facebook. I'd go on Facebook to post maybe a picture of an event, but I really wasn't on Facebook that often. And it has been a huge way to be able to build our business, just another vehicle. But we're going to talk about the action steps, or I should say, I'm going to talk about the action steps. And then, you know, I'll turn it over to Bobby and he can talk more about where on the computer we can find all this stuff and how we're going to sign people up and stuff. But, you know, there are 3 things that I kind of broke it down into that are important. You know, education is really important. It's a natural motivator. But, you know, when you first get started, you have a lot of excitement. And we had that excitement, you know, over 25 years ago when we got involved in our first company, we didn't know anything. And I promise you, we had never even been prospected to be in a multi-level marketing company, didn't even really understand what the term was, but we found it as a strong vehicle to make a lot of money very quickly. And so just being really excited about what we were doing, you know, we were able to make over 110,000 that first year, just really being excited. We didn't have all that knowledge, but, you know, enthusiasm is like the yeast that raises the dough. And isn't that so true? And that's exactly what happened to us. So get active right away while you're excited. Those first few days are the best days to get your business to get started. We also want to talk about some materials for you to be able to share and where you should have them ready, so that when somebody asks you, you're not kind of like, oh, I don't know, I got to find out, or, you know, they're unsure. And then also just to start sharing your business right away, because again, those first few days, those first few hours are so important, because you're so excited. You're nervous and scared to death, but it's a really great nervous, and you'll find that you can get some great prospects from that initial group that you talk to. But here are some places for education. And, you know, the global convention is coming up really fast, and this won't happen again for 18 months. And I can tell you, every person that we've brought to an event, to, you know, a conference with this company, has gotten so excited. It has been life-changing. And, you know, a lot of times there's the analogy of goldfish. You know, you goldfish in a little bowl, you know, and every time you put it in a bigger bowl, it gets bigger. In my house, it's turtles. My husband has turtles. We have turtles, and it all started with my son when he was 5. He's now 23. And every time we've gotten a larger tank, these turtles have grown more and more. Well, that's the same with us. When we are in a room with over 5,000 people that are super excited, and you hear the testimonies and the stories and the training of people that are walking across that stage, you can't help but go home and have your business grow tremendously. So make an all-out effort to make sure that you do get to that global convention. You know, this is a monthly global training that Gabe and Jill do. Certainly want to have everybody on it. You know, here you can do it from the comfort of your home. You can have your organization all over the world on it. You know, it's just an easy thing to make sure. But, you know, we've got to make sure that our group gets on it. You know, do those reminders, see who's on it. And then, you know, Gabe and Jill also do that weekly opportunity call, which is so powerful too. You want to get your new people on that. So these are just places where you can get resources to plug people in to help yourself in the beginning when you're new. For Bobby and I, the blue calendar was huge. You know, we didn't have Jill and Gabe in the beginning. We kind of chose them, you know, as we got to know the company a little bit. But that was huge for us. You know, we were in an area we thought all alone, nobody's here. We went to that blue calendar. We looked to see what meetings were going on, and we went to those meetings, even though those people weren't directly related to us. And I can tell you that gave us a strong indication of the culture of this company. It's just amazing how great people are, whether they're in your team, your organization, or they're cross-line or whatever. Everybody has been so helpful. So that blue calendar is very important to get yourself to whatever local meetings might be going on, even if they aren't in your team or your organization. You know, LifeVantage also has a great site for library forums. It's actually on their main site. You can go, and that library has all kind of information. And sometimes because we're given so much information, this stuff is kind of looked over. But, you know, again, the company forums are there. There's product information. All kind of trainings are on there again. There's a weekly call in there from the company. So exciting information there. You know, we've done a lot of talking about Facebook, and both the girls did a great job with it. But there's a lot of sites where you can go to get information too. You know, certainly connect with that LifeVantage group. You know, you want to go on to Dave and Jill's, and Dr. Glass had mentioned to connect and make it impact their Facebook site. Darren Jensen has a great Facebook site, great stuff coming out. And then Ryan Goodwin is our techie guy, and he does Tuesday Tech Days. So, you know, as we're working on our app, that's very important to get the information there so we have that know-how. You know, YouTube, which Dr. Glasser also mentioned, you know, you can go to LifeVantage, you go to Pretandem. Do make sure that it is a company site, or that, you know, and maybe this isn't a term you're used to, you embed it for yourself. You don't want to be giving out somebody else's site so that somebody follows back to them. So, you know, do look for a company site, particularly if you're new and begin. There's some really, really great sites that, you know, you can send people to for information, but also information for yourself to just hear some of these amazing, amazing testimonies that people are getting all over the place. 2 websites with a ton of information. TheProvenPlan.com is the company site. All the Pro 10s and Pro 9s are giving great information on how they actually went and got started and how they go along in their business. So that's just, you know, a lot of information there as well. And then again, you know, Jill and Gabe's site, which is Connect and Make It Impact, you certainly want to be checking that out too, with a lot of information. So those are some places that you can get information. Tons of stuff to help you get excited about your opportunity. I know when I first got involved, didn't quite understand the Pretandem. And so the more information I got, the more excited I actually got about it. But here's the materials you want to have to be able to share. And the most important one is going to be that referral site. You know, make sure that you go to the front page of your website, look under business tools, click on that, and you should see your referral site. That's the site where you want to send people that want to purchase product or want to start your business. You know, don't be fumbling around if somebody gives you the go, they want to get product and you have no idea where to send them. So, you know, do the time today. Go onto your site. Make sure if it's your name.lifevantage.com, which it probably is unless you've changed it, go and make sure that it goes to your site. Put your picture up there so that when people go to your site, they know it's you. You know, if you're going to do one thing today, this is the one thing, because, you know, if you do the time to spend talking to somebody, you want to make sure that they go to your site and not wind up, you know, somewhere else. You know, ABC Primetime is one of the videos that I love to share. You know, really easy, have it on my phone, go ahead and text it out. But, you know, another good one, a company site, is The Secret to Sustainable Memory, Metabolism, and Energy. And I don't know about you, but that title, I mean, I think if a total stranger sent it to me, I'd open it anyway. And it's a great YouTube too, just for sharing information. And what you want to do with these people too is follow up with them right after you send this information to them. You know, our phone app has been amazing. So, you know, if you're not familiar with the phone app, it's got all the training on it. It has all these videos on it. You can literally do this whole business from your phone. You can send a link to have people purchase product. You can send a link to have them actually start their business. So just message LifeVantage to 44222. And then lastly, PubMed, if you've got a person that's more medically based and wants to look at some peer review studies, if that's of interest to them. You know, just, we are so lucky to actually have studies on their peer review studies. You know, nutritional companies just don't have that. So that puts us a cut ahead. You know, and best is you want to start sharing. This is the most important thing that you're going to do. Again, that excitement, act on that excitement. I know you're nervous and scared to death, but just go ahead and get started with it. It's that kind of thing that, you know, sometimes you don't want to do something, and when you do it, you're also excited because it turned out really good. I can promise that'll be it. But there's no time like the present. You'll never be more excited with this. So go ahead and post on Facebook. You got a lot of information today. The cool thing about our business is, even though we have all these physicians, doctors involved with us, we don't have to be a brain surgeon. We don't have to be a plastic surgeon. Anything we do can be redone. We can always re-explain what we're doing. We can't do anything bad. We're just sharing information. So go ahead, post on Facebook, you know, tell them you're in a new business, go live, show them how excited you are. You know, don't use the company name, you know, don't use the product name, but, you know, kind of be vague, but you're going to create that curiosity. So, you know, people that know you, particularly the people that are on your wall, your Facebook wall all the time, are going to be like, wow, you know, they're just going to want to know what you're doing right away. So it's the best time to be able to go post there. You know, figure out who you want in your business. You know, I always call them the CEOs. They should be the people you really like for some reason. Maybe you've always talked about wanting to be in business together. Maybe it's somebody that just knows a lot of people, somebody you'd like to hang out with, a relative, whatever it is, you know, but go ahead, put your list together of those few people, and then go ahead and send them a video. You know, just ask them if they've got 5 minutes to share for you. Send them the video, follow up right there. Everybody will give you more than the 5 minutes, but you know, everybody will give you that 5 minutes even if they're busy. So, you know, just ask them, but do that immediate follow-up, so important. And then, you know, lastly, you know, want to do some 3-way calls and Zooms. Leverage off your upline. I know this is, I think people think we're really busy, and, you know, we're here to help. Everybody's here to help in this whole organization. I mean, this company is just phenomenal. So you certainly want to get people on a 3-way call or a Zoom. Bobby and I are loving Zooms, even if it's with individuals these days, because if we're just doing 3-way calls or one-on-ones or whatever, because I like to see their face. You know, when you do a phone call, especially sometimes when you do a Zoom call, you don't get any feedback. But when you're doing a Zoom call face-to-face with a new prospect, you get to see what they look like. You know, there are times in this industry that I've known people for, you know, 6 months, 9 months, never had an idea what they look like. I thought in my mind I knew what they looked like. And then when I met them, they didn't look like that at all. But, you know, those 3-way calls are important. You need to leverage off that new person, because the people you know you're brand new in this business. They know that, you know, you really don't know anything about the industry. They know you're excited about something, so they're going to give you the time. But bring in the so-called experts so that they can explain the business and, you know, be able to handle that call so you can have success. And, you know, it just works so well when doing those. You know, pick up Pro 3 or above in your upline somewhere that can help you with that. And so those are the things that you just want to implement right away. You know, use your excitement, keep the knowledge going, keep sharing the products, know where the products are, and you'll find that, you know, your business will just take off naturally. You don't have to know a whole lot of stuff, just be real excited about it. But I get to bring on my better half so that he can share more of the online presence with the company site and all. And so thank you for your time.
Hey everybody, it's Bob Wagner. Hey, April's great, isn't she? I'm going to switch screens for a second and just go to something else that I want to use today to help you understand what I'm going to be talking about. But let me just see if I can get that to full screen. Okay, we're there. All right, so you know, April shared a little bit of our story with you, and next week is actually going to be a year since we signed up with LifeVantage. And you know what I want to talk to you about, and I think the most important decision that April and I ever made, and also the hardest decision that we had to make, was to come into this company and be a sponge. Like put ourselves back to when we were new in the industry 26 years ago. You know, we knew what we knew. And, you know, we knew how to build a multi-million-dollar business. We had done that. We knew how to earn millions of dollars. We had done that. We knew how to help other people earn money. We'd done that. And we'd created a lot of different things that were first in the industry or in our first company. But one thing that we didn't know LifeVantage's system. Okay, we didn't know the tools that were available. We didn't know where they were. We didn't know what kind of opportunity meeting they did. I'll tell you, you know, we have guests here in our house today, and Michael just said to me, do you remember that first meeting we went to? And it was pretty funny. You know, there was a dog running around, and the meeting was actually canceled, and we had to go to somebody else's house, and somebody had flown in from up north, and you know, we were the guest, and we really weren't guests because we already had signed up. We were just going to try and see a meeting. But what we did for the first 30, 60, 90 days was go to every meeting that was on that blue calendar that April talked about, that was in Central Florida. You know, we went up to Jacksonville to see what Gabe and Jill were doing. We went over to Tampa to see what Brandon was doing. We were in Fred and Cassie's house, the Graves, I don't know, 8 or 10 times. You know, there was a meeting going on in Central Florida. There were house meetings. So we went to everything. And I'll tell you what got me really excited. What got me really excited is we never saw the same meeting twice. It was really funny because every time we went to a meeting, we figured, oh, maybe this one will be similar to something else. And we never saw the same meeting twice. And then all of a sudden it hit me that it just didn't matter. Whatever people shared, they were sharing with excitement, enthusiasm, and heart. And it was all working. You know, and Dr. Glass had talked about it, Laura talked about it, April talked about it, Gabe talked about it. You know, as long as you're being honest and truthful and speaking from your heart and you're excited about what you're doing, it's going to work. It'll always work because it's natural. You're not thinking about it. It's like a reflex. So April and I knew what we knew, but we also reminded ourselves every day of what we didn't know. And coming in, we knew that LifeVantage was only 8 years old and it was a $200 million company, publicly traded company. We knew that. And we reminded ourselves every day that we were here to learn how to build our own $200 million company the way LifeVantage had built it. Okay, that's why we were here. And we went to everything we could. And, you know, a couple weeks after joining, there was an academy here in Orlando. Then there was another one in Indianapolis. Then there was another one in Anaheim. Then there's one coming up in Utah. In between, there was the Pro 5 Summit, on and on and on. And we were starved, okay, for education and information. And I share that with you because what's happened, you know, our business, thank God, okay, is growing fast and it's picking up momentum all the time. But we've had a flurry over the last 10 weeks that has kind of led me and April to talking to you about what we're talking about today. Okay, the Wednesday after Anaheim, I'll never forget, it was July 18th, and Gabe and I went up to New York with Dr. Deckel to do a meeting for Dr. Bill and Dr. James, who are up there, okay, and they're on Long Island. And I'll never forget, you know, they had about 60 people in the room. They were brand new. And, you know, in the last 10 weeks, I don't know exactly what the number is. Maybe when we go to my back office in a second, the numbers will be more exact. But in the last 10 weeks, from July 18th, you know, they have put on about 200 new people. Okay. And I'm ballparking it, but I'm saying probably about 150 customers and 50 distributors, give or take. And we got what's referred to in this business as a baby Pro 5, you know, somebody that just broke through 5. We have a mature Pro 5 that's in the 35,000 range. And we got someone about to break through Pro 6 that's in the 45,000 range in volume in the last 10 weeks up there, okay? And it was Dr. Deckel brought us up there to work with Dr. Bill, who introduced us to Dr. James, and all three of them are 5'5" and about to be 6. Now, that's the good news, okay? The bad news, which is still good news, okay, so don't get me wrong, is there's lots of new people that don't know where anything is. They don't know what to do. They don't even know they have a website. You know, they don't know anything, okay? They basically, you know, they got on the product because it's amazing, okay? They did it because the person who told them about it is trustworthy and honest and has their best interest in mind, which is what Laura was talking about. Okay, but now, you know, they're in a business, they love the product, but they don't know where anything is. So in the theme of today, okay, I'm gonna walk you through where some of the stuff is, okay? And it starts with that referral website. So if you look up here, you know, at the top, mine is wagnerwine.lifevantage.com. Well, the person, you got to make sure you tell them and don't assume they know. And what the reason I'm going to do this now, I don't want you to assume anybody knows anything. I want you to treat them like Laura was talking about. Treat them as if they're in kindergarten, but with the respect that they're a professor in college. Okay? Don't assume they know anything. Okay? So make sure they understand what their referral site is and what the name of it is. And I always check it. When somebody new joins our business, I put in their first and last name .lifevantage.com and make sure it's working. And if it's not working, then I find out what it is, okay, that maybe I put in wrong, or how they put their name in, or whatever it is, and make sure, okay? So that is so important. I can't tell you how many people in New York didn't even know they had a website. And look at this website, it's beautiful. The company, you know, no company in the industry has ever had as nice, informative a website as we do. And a lot of people didn't even know it existed, okay? So from that, okay, April mentioned, make sure they download the app. Even if they don't know how to use it right away, the training tapes are there for them to do it, but make sure they do that 44222 and get the app on their phone. But I'm going to spend most of what I'm talking about today with the website, okay, to just make sure that a new person knows where to find things and where it is, okay? So here's a question that's been coming up a whole bunch, okay? I told someone about the product, and like, where do they go? You know, what do I do with them? Where do I send them? You know, so and a lot of times I'll do this on a Zoom like I'm doing today. And I'll say, okay, let's go to your referral site. Okay, let's click on the shop button. Just let it load up there, okay? And you got to see their face sometimes when they see this for the first time. They're like, wow, that's my website? Yes, it is. Okay, you said they wanted a Vitality Stack. Let's click on it. Okay, we're going to add it to the cart. Okay, sometimes they'll say, well, you know, that was bottles. I want those like nice packets. Well, you got a choice. It comes up when you click on it as packets. Okay, if you wanted to change it to bottles, you could. Okay, it's, you know, whatever you want to do, it goes, you can go either way with it, okay? Well, we'll go back to that. And all you got to do is add it to the cart, okay? Now, here's what I like about the cart, okay? It's right up here. And let's say for whatever reason, I'm training this and the customer's not with me, okay? Well, all I got to do is click on the link and copy and share the link, and I can send it right to the person. And Dr. Glasser and Laura were talking about this, okay? Or they can just go right into the cart and check out. It's that simple, folks, okay? So make sure that you've rehearsed it. You know, make sure they practice it. Make sure they know where it is. Make sure they know what their referral site is, and have them click on some of this stuff, okay? And you know, just understand where to find it. For us, for any of us that have been in the business for a few months, and for some of us that have been in as a career, we can take this stuff for granted, okay? And assume that people know. And it's like Dr. Glass was saying earlier, you know, people don't know. Man, I've met people in New York that barely can get on the internet. You know, I've met people that have trouble checking their email on their phone. So we can't assume. So let's make sure they have the time, they know where to find it, okay? So let's do this one, all right? Let's go back to the page. And I've gotten this call a lot, okay? You know, I talked to my friend Mary and she wants to sign up. How do I sign her up? Now keep in mind, everything I'm showing you on the website can be done from the app on your phone, okay? But it looks different on your phone. It's smaller, it reconfigures as a mobile website. So just keep in mind, you want to get familiar with both, but today I'm spending the time, you know, on the website so that you understand what things look like here. So my friend Jim wants to get involved, okay? So here's what we do. All we're doing is going to join us, okay? And we click join us right here on the top where my mouse is, okay? And this comes up. Okay, and make sure, folks, honestly, make sure that your name is at the top, okay? See, it says Bob and April Wagner. Make sure it's you. You know, hey, we can click on different stuff and you just never know, okay, where exactly, you know, something's going to be, okay? So just make sure. practice. Okay, you could put in a fake name. Okay, you can put in anything that you want in here and do a fake email. Okay, and just make sure you're familiar with what it looks like. It's not going to like whack your credit card for playing with it. Okay. Put the dot in the wrong spot there. So you won't even let you make a mistake. That's pretty cool. Okay, so I just made up some information just so I can go to the next page. Okay, and you see the enrollment packs. Okay, and they're all there. And, you know, Laura was talking about upgrading people from customers to, you know, to distributors, but just walk someone through this and make sure they know where to find this stuff. Okay, it's really, really easy, but it's not easy. And here's what happens. If you don't do it in advance, then people panic. Okay, and, you know, all of a sudden their friend calls them and their friend wants to join, or their friend wants to buy a Vitality Stack, and they don't know what to do, okay? And now they appear, I shouldn't say appear dumb, okay? That's not the right word, but, you know, they just appear like they're not serious about their business. They don't know, and that's a time when they just need to say, you know what? I'm brand new. I just got started. Let me get you on the phone with the person who got me involved, and they'll walk us through it together. Just play that card, okay, with people. But here's the last thing I want to show you, okay? You got to be on a monthly subscription, okay? We are in a subscription business. So at the top here, it says My Account, okay? So when I click on that, okay, it pulls up this blue sleeve, and I click Log In, okay? Now, this is for me. This is not for anybody I'm talking to. This is for me to get to my back office so I can be running, managing, and utilizing my business and all the tools that are in it, okay? So here's the last thing I want to show you today, okay? Under shopping, subscription orders, okay? You got to put yourself on a monthly subscription, and a lot of times people don't know, so walk them through it. Now, it's easiest to do this when you're first signing them on, but sometimes they need to revise it. Sometimes they need to make it different. Sometimes they want to downgrade it. Sometimes they want to upgrade it. But all you're doing is going shopping where I was, clicking subscription orders, and if I have one there, obviously, for Vitality Stack. But if I wanted to add a subscription, I just click that, okay? And I pick what I want to add to my subscription. Okay, it's that simple. So you want to make sure that, you know, people are on a monthly subscription. You want to make sure they know how to do it. You want to make sure a new person knows how to do it and that they do it, okay? And last but not least, okay, if you need to reorder, you go to shopping. Now, I'm not talking monthly subscription. Let's just say you need some product. April and I sample a lot. We came from a company that sampled product, okay? We sampled, okay? And I mean sampled on our own money, okay? We invested in our business by allowing people to try it. Well, so let's say I needed some product, okay? So I go on shopping cart, and this is where I reorder product I need for ourselves, okay? You just pick whatever it is you need. Let's say I needed some more Protandim. Okay, I click on that, and I need, you know, I need 6 of each, okay, on the duo pack. And it's in my cart, and I just go to the checkout process, okay? So if you need more product personally, that's where you go, okay? And last but not least, before I give it back to Gabe, okay, if as your business grows, okay, and you have questions about, you know, your team or what's going on, this link for Downline, you click detailed genealogy, member summary, graphic tree, any of these things. You want to see where your commissions are, where your commission statements are. They're all right here. But what April was talking about on the training, okay, if you click on that, okay, That's where you're going to find a lot of the stuff that Laura, that Dr. Glasser, that April we're looking at. So for whatever reason, that link just didn't go there. But let me see if I can just get it back. Well, I guess not. So I lost my screen. But what I'm going to do in a minute, and I just want to share one more thing with you before I give it back to Gabe, is we're all guilty, and I mean that in a nice way. I'm not being mean-spirited about it, but we assume that people know what we know and know where it is. And these are just some things that we've gone through and are experiencing with our new team up in New York, where over the last 10 weeks, look, the greatest problem in the world is for a new area to put on a couple hundred people in 10 weeks. That's a great problem to have, but it brought to light some of what you heard today, okay? The value of social media, where things are, what to do, how it looks. And with that, you know, don't take that for granted and make sure people know. And Gabe, if you're there, I'm going to turn it back to you. I think we're right on schedule and you can close us up. Thanks, buddy.
I tell you what, you and April rocked it, man. I'm putting this down as our best virtual training to date because it just affects so many more people. And you're right, Bob, especially your group, but everyone's group, you always have brand spanking new people coming in. And by keeping this training simplistic, like everyone has done today, will just help grow your business so much faster. Again, this incredible training will be it is being recorded today. You can find it on Connect and Make an Impact on Facebook, because not only is it live with Zoom, it's live with Facebook. And then give us a day or two to put it on our Connect and Impact.today website. And that way you can share it with everyone on your team and they can watch it multiple times. And write down some of the great nuggets that they've heard from these incredible leaders with LifeVantage. I want to thank each and every one of the guest speakers today for their time, for their expertise, for what they're doing, not only with their business, but help to better LifeVantage as a company. Each and every one of them adds value to this company. Jill and I are grateful to have each and every one of them within our team. You've always heard me say this all the time: teams win, individuals lose. So for those of you that are still with the person that invited you to hear this opportunity and training today, let them know where you stand. You know, if you want to become healthier, you want to jump on that vitality stack that Donna Deegan talked about. If you're ready to get a LifeVantage ID number, pick one of those packs that fits where you're at, and watch this video over and over and over, because it's for you. It's to help you to understand what to do next. So with that said, our next virtual training will be the first weekend in November. Make sure you thank the person who invited you to this training, regardless if you're with them or without them. Let them know that you are on, because they were thinking enough of you. You have the right list of ingredients on who we're looking for. I mean, if you really think about the science, we're laying down a foundation on what's about to happen in this country, and you have the skill set, you have the credibility, you have the integrity, you have the circle of influence of what we are looking for to build this business into $1 billion a year revenue business. And right now we're only, you know, a little speck on the radar screen. And that's what makes this opportunity so inviting, because you're first, right? And so with that said, my name is Gabe Pearson. We will see you Monday night on my LifeVantage opportunity webinar. And we will certainly be back here next month, the first Saturday of November, to give you some more nuggets with some incredible other leaders that we're fortunate to have on our team. So with that said, thank you so much for your 2 hours on your Saturday morning. Have a great week. Thank you for being on today. Take care, everyone.